And today I want to start with this magic number, 2020. I'm sure that for us as teachers, this year will be remembered for some particular reasons, right? In general, 2020 will be remembered for one huge reason. But I really, really hope that something nice, something positive also happened to you or is going to happen to you this year. So if you've got some nice memories from these like 9 months that have passed, or you've got some great plans for this year, could you please share them in the chat box? For example, I have at last swam in the Sea of Azov this year for the first time in 17 years. I haven't been to the seaside in 17 years. So this summer was just amazing. Even those like 1.5 days we spent at the sea were great and amazing. And I'm sure that something nice happened to you as well. So in the chat box, could you please share what nice things, what exciting things happened to you this year, or maybe are going to happen in the next few months. We've got 3 months left, so maybe you have planned something nice, you or your friends or your family. Let's see, I can see that some people are typing. Have learned to work remotely. Yes, so Zoom has become a part of our lives nowadays, and I think it's a great tool because now we can do any kind of meetings with our colleagues, because as you may know, Internal Education has offices in Kiev, Lviv and Odessa, and we have lots of these internal meetings, and now we do them via Zoom, and it's very easy, very convenient. So, okay, Carpathians, absolutely great. I love the mountains. Was there last year, last holidays. This year we chose the sea finally. So congratulations on going to the Carpathians. Fishing, whoa. So I hope you like fishing. I hope you were not made to go fishing by someone in your closer acquaintance range. But if you do like that, that's amazing. I really respect women who love fishing. That's a great thing. Very interesting, actually. Yes. Okay, great. So, well, why am I talking about this 2020 and nice things happening? Well, because for the internal education, 2020 was actually a very exciting year in spite of everything happening, because this year, the internal education has signed 2 major, very important partnership agreements with 2 global companies. So the second one I will name in a couple of minutes, but the first one, which you may not have heard about before, is called Certiport. So by the first part of the name of the company, right, Certi, you can guess it's about certification, so that is why I'm mentioning it today. But before I tell you a little bit more about this particular company, I've got some kind of a quiz for you. So here on the slide, you can see some numbers. Could you please try to guess what these numbers mean for Certiport as a company? You know, I really, really like these ideas, especially like using them in the classroom, like when you have a time graph, when you put some years on the board and you ask to get your students to guess like what these years mean to you or to some famous person maybe. So here we've got some numbers important to this particular company. Okay, we've got a guess of participants. I hope you mean 3 million. And if you do, you're absolutely correct. 3 million certified. Yes, a very, very good guess. Thanks a lot, Maria. Any other guesses? What about the years? 1997, pretty long time ago. Could you guess what could have happened then? What was 1997 so remarkable for Certiport as the company? It's a very easy guess. I'm sure that if you think about it, you will be very quick to get this particular one right. Crisis. Could be, yes, nowadays it's the first thing we think about, right? When we think about any kind of business. Came to Ukraine. 1997, Dinternal came to Ukraine. Yes, Maria. Well, actually, I think that is true. I think that London School of English was here in 1996, and 1997 was the year of Dinternal Foundation. I think you're absolutely right. And well, yes, okay, thanks a lot for your guesses. So you're absolutely correct. 1997, Certiport was founded in America, in Utah. They have their headquarters in Utah. And the company was created as a support for all the other important companies in IT sphere, because they produce different certification programs for those other businesses. And I will name some of them a little bit later. Another guess. Okay, change the name to Dinternal 2020. Well, could be, but in terms of Certiport in 2012, sorry, 2020 in my head, 2012 was the year when Certiport became a part of Pearson, because it was acquired by Pearson VUE, which is an American branch of Pearson. So as you know, Dinternal Education here in Ukraine, you can see that from the banner behind me, is the exclusive and official representative of everything Pearson, which used to be Longman, you're absolutely right, here in Ukraine, right? So Certiport is now a part of Pearson business, and which is why we decided that it's high time for Dinternal Education to broaden, the areas in which we operate and include Certiport in our business as well. And in terms of other numbers, 3 million is actually the number of people certified every year. I think, except for 2020, because of all this crisis situation, it was a little bit more difficult for people to take tests. But usually, annually, 3 million people around the world get certified by Certiport exams, Certiport certifications. And they have a network of testing centers, which is more than 14,000 test centers in 153 countries. So you can look at this map. It's the largest global certification network in the world. 153 countries. That's a lot. And I really, really like this number. It's very, important for me as a part of Dinternal Education, because actually country number 153 is now Ukraine, because Dinternal Education is now no less than an authorized testing center for all the Certiport's exams here in Ukraine. So you can take part in all of their certification programs, most of which you can even do just at home and don't need to go anywhere. I will be talking about it closer to the end, so stay tuned to find out more. So what does it mean, certification program? So unlike some other just examinations, Certiport provides their clients with 3 different parts, 3 steps within this certification program. And now I'm sure you will be very fast to guess what those steps are, because as teachers we are doing it all the time. These 3 steps are just a part of our regular work approach. So the first step, if we speak about any skill, right, absolutely any skill that we want to get, would be, could you guess in the chat box, what is this first step? Do you have any ideas? Yes, Maria, absolutely correct. Thanks a lot, guys. It is learn. So what is great about Certiport certifications is that they always provide people with learning materials. And because they have such a huge range of different programs, these courses can suit absolutely different people. So think about your students now for a moment, not only yourselves, but also the students that you teach. I'm sure that you teach different different students with different majors, right? So you may be teaching designers, you may be teaching students of IT areas, because there are a lot. You may be teaching someone connected with financing, so lots of different areas. And for every person, whether they are just starting a new career in one particular sphere, or they have already started and they just want to develop their skills, maybe again take them to the next level, to the international level, or for someone who just wants something new, to switch off from what they're used to be doing and start an absolutely new career or gain a new skill. These courses can help you do that. So you start with learning, you take these learning courses. Next step, after you finish the course, whichever, again, sphere we are talking about, there is a second step. It is kind of optional, but most of people who work with Certiport just tend to take this step as well. And yes, thanks a lot for your guesses. It is practice. So what does it mean here, practice? Well, as teachers of English, you will absolutely surely know what I mean if I say mock test, right? If you have at least just once tried preparing students for any English exam, whichever one that was, I'm sure that you would have tried mock exams or mock tests, when you give them the same type of tasks, the same time limit, and they just practice the format. Because I hope that you would agree with me, it's not enough sometimes, well, most of the times, to have the knowledge to pass the exam with flying colors, as they say. You need to know the format, you need to practice the time limits to be able to pass the exam well. So practicing is important, and Certiport provides practice tests for each of their certification programs. And well then, the last step of each program is actually what it is all, focused at, aimed at, the final step, the final achievement for everyone taking on these programs, which is, who is going to be the first to guess? Yes, absolutely, Irina, thanks a lot. This is certification. This is you go and certify. So learn, practice, certify. This is the three-step approach of Certiport. Learn a new skill, practice it in this close to exam environment, and then certify those skills with an international recognized certificate. And remember at the beginning, when I told you about this company in general, I said that they create these certification programs for other companies. Well, among those companies are Apple, Adobe, Autodesk, and majorly Microsoft. So Certiport has lots of certifications that they provide Microsoft with. So again, remember Microsoft Office, all those programs that you are using, there is a certification on that as well, and it is created by Certiport, which actually leads me to this second amazing thing that happened this year, because just after signing a partnership agreement with Certiport, Internal Education signed the same partnership agreement with Microsoft. So from 2020 and onwards, Internal and Microsoft are official partners, which means that we can now provide lots of people around Ukraine, teachers in particular, with dozens of wonderful Microsoft programs and products that were created just for you. And today I want to tell you about one of those products, which is a certification by Certiport, and it is called Microsoft Certified Educator. So you can see by the word educator, this is an international certification aimed at teachers. And not only teachers of English, like TKT, for example, or CELTA, this is for teachers of all subjects, all areas. So if you have friend, colleagues who are teaching math or physics or, biology or PE, even physical education, you can advise them to take a look at this course as well. Because this course focuses on technology literacy for education, which is now very important, being able to use all these, software and technological advances in your education process. And it also introduces a very interesting approach to creating like project works, for example, and to giving tasks to students in general, which is based on the UNESCO framework 21st century in learning design. So how do you design learning in 21st century? They took this UNESCO framework as a basis and they created this certification referring to that framework. So why may you want to do this program and to have this Microsoft Certified Educator certificate? Well, first of all, again, it's very up to date. It's like the last development by Microsoft together with UNESCO and Certiport. And it's very interesting, very useful, lots of amazing ideas. I will show some of them to you today in a couple of minutes. And you will also learn how to incorporate everything that is demanded now in the 21st century into your particular classroom. So lots of nice theoretical ideas, but how do you implement them in practice in your particular classroom? That's what you will get from this certification, as well as some insight on particular tools from Microsoft, like Microsoft Teams, for example. How is it different from Zoom? Why is it in lots of ways better sometimes than Zoom? What great features are there? So you will also learn it from this course. And then you get this nice certificate, which is issued by Certiport, but you can see Microsoft on it, and in the top left corner you can see there is this nice stamp of Microsoft Education. So you can be sure this will be the only certificate of this level in the world which is recognized by Microsoft. And well, at least for me, I'm sure that you would agree, Microsoft is a brand. It's a name that everybody knows. So this will add, some validity, some value to this certification, like definitely. Now let's look a little bit closer into this particular certification. So remember I said there are 3 steps within Certiport. So Microsoft Certified Educator is the 3rd step, the certification, the exam that you take. Before that, of course, you can go and you can have a practice test done to practice the type of tasks, to practice time management and everything. But the most important thing will definitely be learning, will be the preparation course. And this course is called, just like this UNESCO framework, 21st Century Learning Design. And the best thing for you guys and for me as someone who has taken the course is that this course is absolutely free. So it is available online, and at the end of the session I will give you the links so you can go and register and start doing it whenever you have time. This course is absolutely free. So within this learning path. Well, actually it is called learning path because it includes several modules in it, several courses. You will learn everything about how to incorporate developing 21st century skills in your classroom, in your lesson preparation, in your task design, and how to make it even easier using different technologies. So this is the general idea of this course. Let me show you how it all works. So you can see it is done in Microsoft Educator Center. Yes, you can see it's a learning path. So there are several courses, actually 8 of them, 8 courses, 8 modules, and altogether they comprise around 20 hours of self-study. It's all self-study. So now I just want to show you what each of these courses is about, and you will help me with guessing some of the names. Well, the first course, very simple, it's the introduction. So you will learn how the idea of this course, was born, some information about this UNESCO framework, which you can also download and you can have a look at it. It's 96 pages, but it's very interesting and, well, something that will also help you understand this course even deeper. So the first course, the lightest one, just, the introduction. The next 5 courses are all aimed at different skills. And I can see that people are typing in the chat box very, very quickly. I'm sure that you are guessing this first skill absolutely correctly. Yes, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being so active today. I know it's Monday morning. I know it's still hard maybe to realize the next week has started and, well, we have to work. So thanks for still being active today. The first skill that you will focus on is collaboration. So remember, the idea is how to incorporate development of each of these skills into your lessons. So how to create, how to design your tasks in such a way that they help your students develop, for example, collaboration in this case. For each of these skills, you will learn that there are several criteria based on which you can see and you can tell that this particular skill in this particular task will be developed on level 1 or level 2 or 3 or 4. Sometimes there are 5 levels. So the higher, the better. And collaboration definitely is important, absolutely necessary in the real life. So how do you give them tasks? How do you design the tasks so that they help them develop this collaboration and as a skill when they are preparing those tasks? Well, this skill is quite easy. You understand what collaboration means, so I'm not going to focus on it deeper, but let's move to the next one. Course number 3 is called, can you guess from the slide what the next skill that you will develop with our students would be? I can see lots of people typing. Thanks a lot. Yes, Irina, Svetlana, Olga, you're absolutely correct. Thanks a lot for your participation. And I can see some people are more typing. You're absolutely right, guys. It's called skilled communication. Not just communication, but skilled communication. So being able to communicate any message effectively. How does it, transfer into our tasks that we design for our students? Well, think about giving your students like a task to prepare a project which they are going to present to someone. Maybe a project about, I don't know, London or the history of the UK, something like that. So depending on who the audience is going to be, the preparation will be different and the project itself, the content of the project will be different. The style of presentation will differ. So if they're going to present it to their group mates in the university, it's one thing. If you have someone come into your university, like maybe some native speakers or maybe a group of students from other countries, it may be a different thing. Maybe you are teaching, I don't know, in the pedagogical university, and your students are going to go on practice at school, and they will have to present the project for school students, maybe upper secondary, maybe primary. I'm sure you get what I mean. So depending on the audience, the task, the work on the task will be absolutely different. So this is what you will learn in this particular course: how to create the task itself, so that it helps students develop the skilled communication on different levels. Okay, next skill, which I think for me was the newest one, the most unknown, if I may say so, something very interesting. And can you guess what it means? I'm sure that it is possible to guess the words. Yes, Svetlana, your typing skills are just amazing, absolutely very quick. Knowledge construction, great. So now I have a more difficult question for you. Could you guess or just show me how you understand what this knowledge construction means? What is this skill about? What does it mean? What does it mean to construct knowledge? Do you have any ideas? If you do, please be absolutely, free to share them in the chat box. I'm sure that you can guess some aspects of it, because it's, it has lots of different aspects. How to use language, some learning strategies, ways of logical presentation. Yes, absolutely, great guesses. Thanks, guys, thanks a lot. Any other ideas, other aspects, maybe learning how to learn? Very good, absolutely, some insight on that. Thanks a lot, Svetlana. Well, not only this, but also being able to, find the right material to construct knowledge, to add to what you know already. So you learn something, then you learn something more, and you need to be able to combine, to organize that knowledge in your head, absolutely. And it is a great thing, Natalia, that you mentioned practical use. Why? Because another huge idea of this particular course, knowledge construction, is that the skills and the knowledge that our students gain in our lessons should definitely be applicable in other lessons of other subjects and in the real life as well. So knowledge construction means also being able to take some information they learned in the history lesson, some information from English, something maybe from biology, I don't know, and organize it all together and use it collectively, in some particular real life situation. So it's what we call міжпредметні зв'язки, right? Something about CLIL, a little bit close to that. So organizing the knowledge within one area, but also adding to this from other areas where they are learning. So yes, absolutely, absolutely right. The next, so knowledge construction was course number 4. The next is another very, very interesting one, which is especially important for students of universities, and for, well, adult learners will have it a little bit more developed probably in school. At the university, it's more important to help them develop that. You're right, it's self-regulation. So within the learning process, self-regulation means definitely time management, which is absolutely important. I know lots of students who have not developed that skill by the age of 20, Well, I can't say that my time management is perfect, absolutely not. But, self-regulation is important, so time management. Then, when they are working on a project, especially if that project is a group project, again, collaboration is important, but also self-regulation will include being able to see the final aim of the project, divide it into some parts, some steps, or areas to work on, then distribute those steps or those areas between students in the group, being able to create a timetable of when each of the steps within this project should be concluded. Then, being responsible for your particular part, but also understanding that no other part of the project would be finished if you don't contribute your part in it. So this taking responsibility for the group result as well is something very, very important. And it's not something that the teacher should do, especially in those ages. When we speak about university students or upper secondary school students, it's not you who should be dividing them and telling them, like, you create the poster, you find information. They need to take that responsibility on their shoulders because it helps them develop this self-regulation skill. And the last, very important, I think my favorite one, because I have heard and seen lots of cases when it was very, useful and world known. Of Ukrainian students to have that skill, which is, yes, Irina, thanks for typing so fast. Thanks a lot for being so active today, guys. This is real world problem solving and innovation. So again, it's about our tasks being as close as possible to the real life. So, of course, we understand as teachers of language that some of our tasks are just to practice the language itself, and it may be difficult to to connect it to the real life. But still, I hope you would agree with me that just opening the brackets in 25 sentences about nothing, so which have absolutely no sense, is not a good practice. Anyways, they need to learn to practice grammar in real life context. Innovation is also important, giving them such tasks that will develop their creative thinking, critical thinking, allowing them to show the potential and maybe really creating something new, inventing something. So I always use this example, and last time I even asked teachers to help me with the guy's name, and I again forgot it. Do you know about this boy from Ukraine who invented this absolutely unique way to create paper from the fallen leaves? So I'm trying again to find this guy. It actually happened 2 years ago already. I just found lots of videos about him on YouTube. I don't remember again what. Okay, so his name was and is still Valentin Frechka, and now he's studying at Shevchenko University. So if there are any teachers from Shevchenko universities, this is your student from your university. So he invented this approach to creating paper from the fallen leaves. So instead of cutting down trees to create paper, we would just collect the fallen leaves and create paper. So very eco-friendly, absolutely, well, it's the thing about modern students. They are all focused on this environmentalism and being eco-friendly, being friendly to the environment, thinking about the future. It's a thing among them right now, definitely. So this is just one of the ways, just one of the things that I can show as an example of Ukrainian students having huge potential in innovation and solving different world problems. And I'm absolutely sure, so there won't be anyone who can, convince me in the opposite, that behind this invention, at least one teacher stands. So I'm absolutely sure that the teacher of physics or chemistry or math or geography or biology, some kind of teacher is behind that invention, definitely, because the idea has to come from somewhere. At least the knowledge about the problem existing has to come from somewhere. And it's us, guys, it's the teachers. So it's one of the ways which we can contribute, to the world in general by allowing our students to show their potential in our lessons. So these were the 5 courses about 5 skills. And now the next one is about how to use different ICT, which stands for Information and Communication Technology, how to use all these inventions for your learning process. So how to enhance it, how to make it easier to teach using different tools. And the last course is about practice. So how do you now take all this new knowledge and how do you put it into practice in your classroom? These are the 8 courses within this 21st century learning design path. So how do you do these courses? What is the structure of the module? Well, let's have a look at the first one, Introduction, but they all work the same. So once you click Start Course, you will see the description, how many hours it takes to finish this particular course, what are the learning objectives, and what other resources you might want to have a look at when you're doing the course. So the course itself is the set of lessons. The number of lessons is always on the left. It's from 4 to 6. From 4 to 6 lessons in each module. And each lesson is a video that you watch, and then a set of questions to reflect on the video. So you just think about some ideas, you self-reflect, you think about what your view now is on this particular issue. Plus, remember I told you there are some materials to have a look at. Well, for each lesson, you will be able to access some extra reading materials in this program. If you are working with this program currently, or if you have tried it before, do you know what it is? Can you please put the name, if you do know the name of this program, in the chat box? It's a part of Microsoft Office, actually. It's Microsoft 365, so it's this online Microsoft Office. Yes, you're right. It's called OneNote. So basically, it's a notepad. It's a notebook where you can store lots of material. And for this course, you will see that on the left, there are all the 8 modules, right? And for each module, there are every lesson of the module for which you will get some more material to read. This is how you get all these 20 hours altogether. And also, pay attention to this one thing. It's called anchor lessons. So I think it can be translated as oporni uroki, something like that. So these are examples of lessons. You don't need to do them in your university or your school or your courses, because they will be on different subjects. For example, you can see Falkland War, it's a lesson in history. Great Train Internet, it's the IT subject lesson. Mounting Mungo is actually it's a biology lesson. So they will be of different subjects. Your task is not to do them in practice, of course, but to read them and analyze them in terms of those skills development. Remember, 5 skills. several criteria for each of them and different levels of meeting those criteria in developing the skill within your task. So I know it may sound a little bit, too structured, too complicated, but once you start doing it, you will get what I mean. So you need to look at the tasks in those lessons and analyze them. How does this task help me develop collaboration with my students? On which level? What are the criteria for each level? Does it meet those criteria? What about self-regulation? Do they have to create a timetable, or in the task does it say that the teacher gives them the deadlines and everything? So you analyze those lessons, and it is very important that you do that, because this is basically what you are asked to do on the exam, on this international exam, the Microsoft Certified Education exam. You will get some case studies, like you are the teacher of history and you have this project prepared for your students. Please analyze it or try to improve it based on all those criteria that you learn within the course. So these are the tasks in the exam, basically. And at the end of each course within this learning path, you will have a quiz. It's a short quiz, multiple choice. Don't worry, it's retakeable. You can take it a couple of times if you have any mistakes, to make sure that you've learned and acquired all the information well. And then, well, when you finish, in your Microsoft account, you will get this completed sign. You will get your Microsoft points, which is actually great because, well, if you create your account there once, or if you have a Microsoft account, you will store, so all the information is stored in your profile, all the other courses that you can take. And there are much more courses, many more courses, which you can take from Microsoft for teachers. And I'm now preparing another session about that, so stay tuned to the internal to find out about other sessions on Microsoft courses for teachers. But for now, here is the link and the QR code if you have the phone at hand, a link to follow to get to this 21st Century Learning Design course. And I would ask my moderator, Yulichka, could you please also post this link to the chat box to make it easier to connect. So if you have the phone, you can just screen the QR code. Once again, the course is free. You can take it at any time. You are not connected to any groups, or anything like that. It's up to you when you do that.